One of the great things about being a school principal is that you get to discuss things with children. So I was walking around the school, thinking about this talk. I stopped near one of the pupils, a fourth grader, and I told him that I want to give a lecture on how adults view the world and how children feel the world. And to explain that children always feel. But we, the adults, are often stuck in how we view the world. After a while, this child stopped me and he said, "Ofer, I really don't know what you're talking about, but did you notice you standing in dog poop?" I looked down. He was right. And I thought it's crazy how I fell into the very same trap I came to talk about. I, the adult, spoke from the way I view the world, and he, the child, was in the here and now. One of the times I really felt this difference was when I was the principal of a special education school. These were children that the regular education system couldn't handle. And I believe that they came to this school for a reason. They actually saved themselves. It happened when one of the children, 7th grade child, who came from a dysfunctional family with a tough background, picked up a chair and was about to throw it. I approached and I held him. I looked into his almond eyes and I asked him, "What is so difficult for you? What is so difficult for you? You're so loved, so clever. What is so difficult for you?" And every time that the word difficult came out of my mouth, another big tear rolled down his cheek. He looked at me and suddenly burst into tears. "It's my birthday today, you understand? It's my birthday. I've been waiting all morning and nothing, you understand?" The next thing, I was simply hugging him. And both of us were crying. A moment before the hug, that's when the magic happened. I felt tingling all over my body, washed over by empathy. I remember the exact moment that I went from looking how to set boundaries to simply being with him. By the way, it was a simple mistake with the date. Nobody meant to do any harm. But from that moment, a new term was born at school, the birthday. Now, in every incident, we look for the birthday. It's a signal for us to find the trigger behind the behavior. I believe that this kind of behavior simply cry for help. I call it the sound of bells. When I see a child challenging himself and the environment, I hear only a sound of bells. The bells are saying, "It's difficult for me, it's difficult for me." Sometimes in a whisper, putting feet up on the sofa when it's forbidden. Sometimes it's loud, pushing the baby brother. And sometimes it's very, very strong. "I want to die." For me, the volume of the sound of the bells, it's a signal of the intensity of the difficulty. And believe me, when we don't hear them, the child will raise the volume until we do. One day, a 3rd grader and his parents came to our school. This child had already attended 4 schools before. None of them couldn't handle his behavior. I will never forget how he went to the school, like a gangster, looking super confident, but not really. His parents were behind him. He came down the path and asked, "Where's the principal's office?" I walked into the office with them, explained a bit about the school. And then he stopped me and he asked, "Hey, Fetzo, have you got something to eat? You know something? You have a round belly and a thin legs. You look like SpongeBob. And you spit when you talk." Now, 2 facts about me. 1, all my life I have battled with my weight. And 2, when I say certain letters, yes, I spit. So this child comes into my office, scans me over in 2 minutes, and boom, in my face. Genius. I love it. It always impresses me how children recognize our sensitivities and push our buttons. Half an hour later, we were in school cooking class, making food together. 5 years later, when he graduated, he stood on the stage, and this time with my permission, he impersonated me. He said, "Massachusetts!" And then the front row, who were part of the performance, opened their umbrellas. And everybody was laughing. We need to understand. We need to understand that his behavior in the first meeting wasn't him crossing the boundaries. No, no. It was him testing me in what I call the iceberg test. Just like the tip of the iceberg is visible, the child tests us in a way that is visible. For me, it's a signal that he was testing our relationship. In his mind, there's 2 groups of adults. One group full of adults who responded as they view the world. They said things like, behave yourself, respect others, you won't have any friends if you behave that way. These people didn't show him that they are strong enough to handle his difficulty. They didn't take the opportunity to deepen the relationship through the difficulty. They didn't pass the iceberg test. But there's also a second group of adults, usually much smaller, sometimes even empty. Adults who respond as they feel the world. They respond to the sound of the bells. They hear the call for help, not the cursing. I see that you're having a hard time. I don't take it personally. I'm on your side. These adults relate to the birthday of the child. They invest wholeheartedly in the relationship with him. They pass the test. And they will get to see the bottom of the iceberg, the place where the child keeps his heart. With adults like this, the child will feel safe to set out on a journey. So, next time you meet a child who challenges you, or himself, or his surroundings, what should you do? Try to identify the 3 signals: the birthday, the trigger behind the behavior, the sound of the bells, the volume of the difficulty, the iceberg test, the door to seeing beyond the behavior. Does it work? Oh, you bet it does. Is it quick? Sometimes yes, sometimes it takes time. But it's always better to have a trusting and open relationship than power struggles that consume all the energy. A couple of years ago, I wrote a book about this called Growing the Orchids. I open it with 4 sentences that I learned from my friend Maayan Aharoni, a clinical psychologist. When a child has behavioral difficulty, behave differently with him. When a child has attention difficulty, be attentive to him. When a child has emotional difficulty, be sensitive to him. When a child has communication difficulty, communicate differently with him. Thank you.